The one LSAT strategy that will boost your score more than anything else is not some formula, is not some fancy note-taking or diagramming technique. It's a lot simpler and a lot less sexy than that. It is review. If you can properly review your mistakes, you will be able to better avoid making the same mistakes again. Far too many students jump right into taking practice tests and taking exam after exam, measuring their results, being happy or sad about them, then moving on to the next. It's a lot less exciting, but if you slow down and review your mistakes in depth, you'll actually learn something, and then you'll get those key insights that will let you study more effectively until the next time you take one of those practice tests. So I've developed this framework called the Socratic review method that helps you do just this. It helps you dial in, it helps you drill down on exactly the unique tricks and traps from the test makers that you are personally uniquely prone to falling for, so that you can avoid making the same mistakes again. Now, this isn't widely adopted, it's not widely recognized. Most standard LSAT prep courses focus on giving you information, then testing you on what information they gave you. The problem is that the LSAT is not a test of memorization. It is not a test where flashcards are going to do you a whole lot of good. It's a test of a skill. And skill development requires constant feedback, iteration, and improvement. And so that's what I aim to do for my students. I walk them through a review template for every single question that we discuss. We dial in on exactly where their misunderstandings are coming from. In logical reasoning, for example, you have an argument, also known as a stimulus. You have the question stem, which is what they're asking you to do. Then you have the 5 answer choices. And so the first thing we do is hone in on where exactly the misunderstanding came from. Was it in the stimulus? Was it in the question stem? Or was it in the answer choices? If it was in the stimulus, we look at what was confusing or difficult to understand about the stimulus. Was it that LSAC failed to include key indicator words relating to the evidence or the conclusion? Was it the presence of unique vocabulary words that are difficult to parse? Was it LSAC's inclusion of words like except, unless, until, and without, which are not clear conditional indicators? Was it in the question stem? Was it unfamiliar wording in that question stem rather than straightforwardly saying strengthen, weaken, flaw, and so on? Or was it in the answer choices? If it was a tempting wrong answer, what about the answer was tempting and what ultimately makes it wrong? If it was an unappealing right answer, what was unappealing about that choice and what ultimately makes it correct? So we have these traps of encouragement towards the tempting wrong answer and traps of discouragement away from that unappealing right answer. And until you know which exact tricks and traps you are personally uniquely prone to falling for, you won't be able to avoid making the same mistakes again. So I have my students take fewer practice tests so they can review their mistakes in more depth. And that is not easy to do, of course. It's quite time consuming, but it is the most valuable time that you can spend in your prep because, of course, the LSAT repeats itself again and again and again. And so LSAT prep, successful LSAT prep, is a function of how many questions you complete and the depth of your review of the questions that gave you the most trouble. Now, I'm not going to say that you've got to review every single question you complete. That would be a huge waste of time. Instead, we focus in on the questions that you got wrong and the questions you had difficulty with. That's it. And the LSAT, of course, will repeat those same tricks and traps again on future practice tests. They are quite lazy, actually, the people who write the LSAT. And so they keep dressing up the old methods of reasoning in different disguises. And once you have developed that crucial skill of pattern recognition, you will better spot the underlying logic associated with the questions. And it won't matter whether it's about climate change or heart disease or car accidents or dinosaur extinction or whatever it is. It's the same old thing again and again and again. And once you spot it, once you have developed that muscle memory for those key methods of reasoning, and you are more skilled at spotting the tricks and traps and deftly avoiding them, you will then do that much better on your practice tests. Now, the Socratic review method is a foundational element of all of my LSAT prep materials. We walk through it in the on-demand video courses. We cover it in the live small group coaching sessions 4 nights a week, going over real LSAT passages and logical reasoning questions and games as well, of course. And we also go over it in our private one-on-one coaching programs. So if you're interested in finding out more, we'd be glad to help you out. You can click the links below to book a call with me and my team. And if you found this video helpful, please do me a favor and share it with someone who needs to see it. I don't do any advertising for this channel. I rely only on word of mouth to help get the word out, and your sharing this video link really does make a difference. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.